Hey YouTube, how are you doing? This is the weekly read for let's see, what's today? I don't know. We're heading out of the last week of June into the first week of July, and we've just come through the supermoon. I think mostly the effects should be over. Although doing intuitive splits here and some shuffles. I've got the sun in reverse, and now this is echoing. I've shuffled these a few times, so let's just but I've got the Eight of Swords and the King of Swords reversed, which is an echo of what happened for basically the Facebook and Instagram reading turned into a massive twin flame reading for Aquarius. And I know that because it's completely an echo of the Aquarius reading. So apparently that's what's now. Other people might be deeply in their Aquarius energy as well, right? So I know a lot of relationships are going through a lot of crap, but when aren't they? But no, there's some really interesting stuff happening. Okay, so let's just see. I'll start with the Lenormand. I'm still gonna figure out how I want to be French about that and say it. And let's see. Oh, right into my lap. Okay. Similar to, no, it's not similar. I want to say it's similar to the other weekly reading, which was the book reversed. But no, we have the garden reversed, which is all to do with publicity. It's all to do with, it's like a Three of Cups card in terms of everything flowing, all the communication up, like your social standing, your social interactions, all your publicity, everything, your reputation, all of that being completely on the up and up or secure. So we're looking at some kind of social insecurity here. Maybe something even bad happening. We do have a 2 in reverse, so that's a new situation. That's a decision-making energy. But it's because it's a 2. I mean, we're always making decisions, but when we're in the 2 energy, I mean, that's early on in a process. That's new information. That's a new situation that we haven't dealt with before. Because it's following an ace, right? A beginning. And so it can be unfamiliar territory, and that could be exactly what the situation is here. If you're in new territory, then you don't know what the standing is. It's really hard you have to establish it. You need to establish yourself and you need to know who's who and what's what in order for that garden card to be upright. And we have the we have the Eight of Swords. So we're just going to take that as affirmation right there. Yeah. Okay. Eight of Swords, approving yourself to yourself in communication, in knowledge, in now for me, I put it as 11th house energy. Others would put it as Gemini energy. But for me, I let the numbers progress with the houses. So because 8 is mastermind thinking. Now again, so if we go back to my Taurus reading, absolutely magical reading, and the Eight of Swords in that reading actually flipped in the deck, jumped out and got caught in the deck. It's magnificent. I'll put it at the top of this video. I'll edit them together, or I'll put it at the end of this video is what I'll do, and then you can see for yourself. It's just like 30 seconds of glory. It was the most magical read. So you might have strong Taurus placements right now, and you're in a magician mode. And you're going to shock yourself is what you're going to do. Anything else they want me to know from... Probably not right now. Probably they want me to go over to the Tattoo Tarot. Okay, so we'll do that. Interesting. I've got 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck here with an Ace of Pentacles. No. Oh... You know what? I do need to get glasses again. 10 of Wands with an Ace of Wands. Okay. All right. And I was looking at the World card there when I was shuffling the deck. And so definitely... Okay, so 10 of Wands and Ace of Wands. And we're just going to fire me as a reader. So So the ending and the beginning, and that's this new territory for sure, for sure. For sure, for sure. Look, and I even have, yeah, the Queen of Hearts, the Queen of Cups, with an 8, and the storks of moving into new territory. So I'm just going to put these as side thoughts over here for reference points. Because we've already seen them anyway, so there's no point in, you know. Yep. But that 8 of, so yeah, 2 8s, proving yourself to yourself. No, 10 of Wands. 2 8s, yes. And 10 of Wands, completion of knowing what you want, having finished what you wanted to finish, the trouble that you wanted to do in the world, and then now there's new trouble, so to speak. You know, good trouble, the stuff that you want to get everybody on fire with in a good way. And the Queen of Cups wears all the crowns. So does the King of Cups, because 12th house has to be all houses. And the King and Queen of, well, Pisces is able to be all signs, right? That's the thing of what it is. So they wear all crowns. So this might be where the focus is right now, is on the Wands energy as a Queen of Cups. Okay, so for this is time sensitive for this week in terms of what needs to be focused on or solved or accomplished or started for this week. Okay, we got the free will card right out there. The fair exchange. There's going to be a soul contract here. That's what there is. And it's falling kind of like right between this new territory, right? It's communication. Okay. Virgo energy for me. Other people, it would be Taurus energy. But for me, this is 6th house energy. So a gift is coming, because 6s are gifts. And it's going to lead towards a transformation, basically, of your material world situation, who you are career-wise. Something's coming through, and it will come through in the physical, but it's going to come through either a person in your life, or it's going to come to you in a way like you'll find it, and it will be your guides and your God that put it there for you to find, right? Could be means, there could be suddenly money that you didn't have before, or credit that you didn't have before, or you're going to help somebody else out, possibly. Sideways energy. Woo! Okay. 5 of Wands, conflicting desires. Okay, so you and this other person, this contract, you don't agree. And here's why we have this 8 of Swords. You don't want the same things. This is very interesting. Now, who is this other person then? Ooh. Oh. Somebody that, now for me, I just went through, yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay. Now, I just went through a major schooling in other readings about how I interpret this Emperor energy, because I always interpret the Empress energy as being the feminine aspect of God. Empress, High Priestess, Justice, like it's always been about divine intervention. So this is divine intervention from the masculine aspect of God. But he's holding off. He's holding off getting involved. He's here. He's on the table. He's on the table. But he's not. There's a process. Something's in process. And we have Mars here. Now, what's also interesting is Mars is going. I just finished. I haven't watched it yet, but Krasi Attasio. Astrology, she was going, okay, Mars is going to disappear for 6 months because it's going to do its little loop. Mars draws a heart around us. That's its path. It's really quite beautiful, and that's why I put Mars with as running our loves and loyalties, right? Because it literally, now other planets. Venus will draw 5 hearts, right? And it draws actually a 5-petaled flower around us over the period of 8 years. But Mars does this beautiful single loop. Mercury does a 3 cloverleaf. Mercury draws a cloverleaf around us, actually a 3-leaf cloverleaf. So, you know, the way they set this all up. And then, of course, Saturn and Jupiter, they do a bunch of loops around us. Again, like Jupiter would be between 11 and 12, right? According to the years that it takes them. But so Mars is going to be retro. It's going to disappear on us. So it could be like a 6-month period. And we have a 6 here. There could be a 6-month period of something, of letting you figure things out for yourselves, finding your ways together. Let's see. Let's see. But then what is it? Because you're proving yourself to yourself. Woo! Jupiter retrograde. Got the wheel. So waiting for timing, yes. So within 6 months, interesting. But then what are we doing this week? Jupiter, 12th house, and 9th house. 9th house and 12th house. So faith and, again, free will and soul contract. So it's leaning towards the soul contract. Because it's so charted. This is so charted right now. Interesting. Interesting. So is this move... Okay. So we have the House and the King of Cups. And a 4 of stability, yes. Now we have 2 cards referencing moving, new territory, and we have the Queen of Cups on the table, and we have the King of Cups on the table. So, this relationship, and she's in an 8 of strength, proving herself to herself. But this king is sideways. 3 and 5. Obviously, it has everything to do with this conflict of desires, conflicting desires. So, is this... Okay, so the 10 of Pentacles is upright, the Ace is upright. That 2 is down. So there's something about acknowledging or not. What's with this king? It's just about the different energies that these decks can give, right? So, okay, the heart, I've got a heart, I've got an ace, there's spiritual fulfillment, like there's needing to be spiritually filled here. I've got that Ace of Cups in reverse. But we have a transformation of wands here. We've got a transformation of self. That's Leo energy. Cancerian energy and Leo energy. So 4th house and 5th house. So there's a pride issue here. But the 7 of transforming. But the spiritual depletion tied to the 7 of transforming. And that's, we've got the 6. Okay, so the king is heading towards this transformation. The queen is proving herself to herself. Or maybe you're both proving yourselves to yourselves. And she wants this, there's this completion in her mind. There's this, and masculine, feminine, could switch it up, right? There's this wanting this new thing, and this new thing's coming because the storks are there. Now the 7 here, being still committed in the process, being committed to transforming, in the transformation to the 8 of Wands, which would be communication, but proving yourself to yourself, but finishing something that you really wanted to do, right? And we have this, we have these, just this 5 of Wands, this necessary change, that's at the heart of this all right now. That's at the heart of this all right now. Well, and because of this divine timing. So it's something to do with what you guys are to each other, and you need to stay true to yourselves at this point. You need to stay on course. You need to stay on course, because whatever you're doing for yourself is helping the other. As hard as it is, but you both need this garden to be upright for either of you. You need the home to be upright for either of you, both of you, right? And if it's together, it's together, but if it's separate, it's separate. But whatever you're doing, stay focused on what's right to do. Yes, because the 5 of Wands, 5s always require the right action, yeah? King of Wands, he came out in the other reading as well. So have the plan. Aries energy, know yourself. Now, why we don't have the Queen of Wands out as well, I'm not sure. Why we start with the King of Wands. So the King needs to know first. And again, what was I saying about the World card, right? She's got the World. We've got that 10 of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Yep, we have the beginning and the ending. The ending and the beginning and the ending. And so new territory, just absolutely new territory. That's what it is. But for this week, what do we do? I mean, that is this week. That is right now. So what's the advice for what to do? Interesting. Pluto energy, Scorpio energy. Very creative energy, but it's like not right now. Not right now. So we're looking at the 6 months, and we're looking at knowing your inner power. You guys need to know your inner power. That's, if this were in the upright, you'd be relying on your inner power. That's the whole point of Pluto and Scorpio, is, you know, the stuff that's deep in you, and possibly only in your chart that you can find it. You know, if people will call it shadow work, but I call it chart work, because it doesn't have to be negative. It doesn't have to be dark. Well, dark isn't negative. There's no such you know, that's a Freemasonic, Kabbalistic, dualism thinking of light and dark equal. It's, Malcolm X would tear that apart in a heartbeat. Because dark and light belong to a light spectrum. Yes, not a moral. There is no moral spectrum. So we're talking about chart work. What's unknown to you about yourself? What is unknown to you about yourself, and you need to find it. And if it's in your chart, if you don't know your chart backwards and forwards, if you haven't had somebody go through it with you, and it needs to be sidereal, not tropical, or at least combined. That's why I combine tropical with sidereal in my charts. But start off, if you're going to do it on your own, start off with sidereal placements, please. And either a Fagan Bradley setting or a Larry Eli. I'm going with the Larry Eli right now. It needs tweaking because everything can't be divided equally into 30 degrees in the zodiac the way they are. We actually need a zodiac, a division that is uneven, because the constellations aren't even. But until that happens, then tweaking is required. But in terms of the sun hitting Aries in a chart where it's supposed to, that's the Larry Eli setting. So but get those placements, get your rising sign sorted out properly. But know what your houses are. Know what your, like, really the amount of what you can learn about yourself by getting the accurate work done on that. If you even go through the first 14 weeks of my astrology videos, it'll give you a very strong sense of what can be done to solve. I mean, there's a lot to watch there, but it would give you a very strong sense of what can be solved in yourself, what you can find out about yourself just based on your chart work. It basically solves everything. What can take years of therapy or self-help books and all kinds of other programs, business programs, everything, you name it, whatever you're trying to specialize in, whatever you're trying to gain grounds in, right? And especially in a relationship with each other, then that can solve it for you. But whatever, if you have any sense of what needs to be known, I'll see if I can get any clarification on that. What you need to know about yourself this week to help with this. Because it's all just effort and work and attention. That's where the, you know, there's timing, absolutely, but the timing is what right now for what. So what do they need to know about themselves? You've probably already told me, and I can't see it yet in the cards. But if we look at what you want, why there's a conflict, why there are conflicting wills. Okay, there's trouble, there's clouds. This King of Wands, King of Wands, there are clouds, there's uncertainty. Why is there uncertainty? You need the Six of a gift. And King of Wands needs a gift. Sixes are gifts. Well, there's that gift right there. That soul contract and that free will. He's uncertain, so he's gonna have to, the King of Wands needs certainty. The King of Wands needs answers. The King of Wands needs reassurance. From who, though? Basically, what's your primary relationship? God. If there's trouble, you know, another six. So there's, yeah, luck is down right now. Well, we know that, yeah, there's a 6-month situation. Look at all that. But what's still, okay, what are we unlucky around? What are we unlucky around? Don't push then. Well, we do have a reunion not happening right now. Not happening. And the wheel is down. Well, you know what? Yeah, that king's got to get to know him. Okay, so the queen is pretty certain. Probably just feeling the pain. Yeah, and we've got that king with the instability. So, well, okay, yeah, we've got that Ace of Cups flipping around, but it's in reverse. So that king needs spiritual renewal. And ain't nobody can do that for him but himself. Because he's got to go to the well. He's got to go to the well. Final word. Final word. Knight of Swords. The Child of 4. The Blessing. Child can mean blessing. But the Knight of Swords needs to move carefully, speak carefully, but he's not. He's not speaking carefully. He's in reverse. So somebody's going to say harsh things. Somebody's angry. Somebody's angry. Well, you know, and understandably. We did have the Sun in reverse at the beginning of the read. So, yeah, somebody's very unhappy. And now I have the Knight of Pentacles. Not moving. There's a harvest time. but he's not reaping. The scythe is, you know, it's coming through, and it's fast compared to the Knight of Pentacles. But it's in reverse. It came through fast. So something came through fast. Some kind of it's, you know, it's similar to the Death card. So we could say transformation. We do have a 10 there, completion, leading back to the 9. So yeah, we have something is just being resisted. And probably because if this king is looking towards this queen for the stability, then the king needs to look within. And so during the time of Mars retro, during the time of the male aspect of God, you know, pulling away so that this king can know himself, right? Yes, if there's a sense of looking towards this, looking towards yeah, so the Chariot on its side with the feminine at the top and the masculine at the bottom, and the masculine needing to do the work to upright the Chariot, and also the feminine needs to do hers. Like, you both need to do your thing. But in terms of, yeah, the 8, the 7 of the Chariot, the transformation, turning it upright. Tons of water energy in the other reading, but swords as well. Everything on the table, actually, and similar here. We have so much on the table. In terms of pentacles, swords, we have Neptune ruling cups as well as fire. This is Sagittarius as well, so faith is down. But so we're heavy on the wands for sure, but that's okay. That is what it is. But we do have cups here, here. But yeah, these two knights, this movement, there's no movement. Both knights are down. Both knights are down, so this blessing is down. The harvest is down. The reaping, the luck is down. The clouds are here. The clouds are here. Well, there's only one way to get this wheel turning, and that's to initiate. That's to initiate. Because it's come down to this in order to bring this person to do this work. Because you want that ace turned around. But that's that transformation. Somebody's in transformation whether or not they know it. They should know it. Once you reach 7, you're mature enough in the process. So for this week, I feel like this week, it looks like what's happening is a definite fork in the road, with the promise that everything's not over. Give it 6 months. So we're gonna focus on whatever readings you get into for the next little while. They're gonna be focusing on you, either of you. It's about you. And be mindful of each other, right? We'll remember this. And we'll wait for it to be working on itself. But that's where we come back in 6 months, is to see whether or not all these were turned around. You want the luck to turn around. You want the blessing to turn around. You want the harvest. You know, like, you want it all. You want this 8, right? Proving yourself to yourself. Getting that publicity back. Getting that standing back. Getting that audience. You know, all of that stuff. The new territory. Knowing the territory. Knowing the territory. So it's going to take, yeah, it would take 6 months. It's fair to say it would take 6 months to know new territory. For sure. And you just have to allow for that. So there's a temperance energy to this. Tied to this Jupiter, for sure. Because Jupiter, the wheel represents Jupiter. And Jupiter rules Sagittarius, which is temperance. We have Saturn here. With the World. This is sometimes a Saturn return card. Yeah, boundaries, fears, calculated risks. It's beautiful. I love Saturn energy. Separate from how everybody describes it, from how I've come to understand it and experience it and study it through evidence. No, Saturn is like your best friend. And I'm pretty sure it's feminine, more feminine than masculine. But Saturn is like, it's almost like Saturn's high priestess in some ways. The ultimate, like the satellite high priestess, the moon's high priestess. But yeah, yeah, it's so if we look at Saturn and Mars here together, there's a lot of intuitive work that needs to be done. That Ace of Cups, absolutely. It starts with that Ace of Cups, does it not? Yes, it does, because your primary relationship is with God. It's with God. It's not with the other person. It's with God. Okay, so fork in the road reading, and it'll be, well, we might as well look at it as an adventure. Whoever's watching this reading, whichever one of you, if both of you are watching, then you know what? There's nothing to do but to stay as positive as possible and allow for the pain, but you know that it is charted, it's necessary, because you guys are just going to be completely toxic together right now otherwise. The way you help each other succeed right now is by being on your own paths correctly. Yep. Or these clouds just stay and stay and stay and stay, and then there's the storm. Then there's a lack of success, right? There is no, then we just stay like this. And no, that's, no. Okay, so I'll be back in a week and ready for, now either we'll be reading for you next week or it'll be a whole other situation, but if it is, then what I'm going to do is I'll put links to the sign readings on YouTube in the description to this. Why am I doing that? I'm on YouTube. This is a YouTube reading. I gotta remember what I'm doing here. Yep. So, no, I'll just, yeah, I'll link them. I'll link them in the, at the end. And, okay. Back soon. I'll be back in at least 2 weeks. Well, I'll be back in a week with another weekly reading, and in another couple of weeks I'll do house readings soon for everybody, and maybe in between, we'll see. Okay, much love and thank you. Yeah, because I just wanted to remind that at the beginning, if you go back to the beginning of this video, this was in reverse, and these lilies are working on aspects of self with this King of Swords, so the King energy. So that's just re-emphasizing, yeah, that's how we started off with the Sun in reverse in the Tattoo Tarot. That's, if you go back, those are the cards that we're facing up with the Eight of Swords. So that's the emphasis. The emphasis is this King. Alright, and if you might want to watch the other weekly reading, the Facebook and Instagram one for more details. But again, that was like very much a twin flame energy reading. So it probably just echoes. But yeah, I was just double checking, and I was like, right, we did start with this. And this is all to do with inner self work. Okay, much love. Back soon. But basically the truth about God too. And we've started off with some religious symbolism here. It's really just a murder weapon. Murder. I mean, lots of people were crucified. Okay, so Taurus, this is totally reminding me of how your last reading, the cards are just sliding out, right? Like, so slick. Oh my God. I'm going to remember this forever.